Welcome everyone to MLB The Show 17. My name is Mr. Hurricane, and today I wanted to talk about the newest series that will be coming to this channel. I'm finally going to do a big franchise series on MLB The Show. For over 5 years it's been football franchises and dynasties, but now I'm trying my hand at baseball as I look to rebuild my favorite team, the Minnesota Twins. This is the perfect time to jump in and try to finally get into franchise, as the Twins are coming off a terrible 100+ loss season. They have or had the #1 pick in the draft, and they're a team that needs a lot of help, so my rebuilding focus on this channel and what I love to do in these games fits perfectly, plus it's my favorite team. So while this is not the first episode by any means, I just wanted to talk about what I want from this series, but also get some feedback to see what you want to see, because this has never been done on my channel. I want to do a big franchise with this team and have it be comparable to my Madden franchises or NCAA dynasties. The videos are going to be very different, I'll talk about that in a moment, but franchise in this game is very different than football. You have this player morale system, you have a budget that you can't exceed that's not a salary cap, and other teams are spending double what we can spend. We have one of the lowest budgets in the game. We have a farm system with 2 teams below us where we're going to be developing talent. We have so many things that are going to make this a different experience. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know everything there is to know about things like the Rule 5 draft or how I should handle my minor league options and whatnot, but I'll figure that stuff out. I have some help with that. I'm good friends with Moonlight Swami, and he knows a lot about franchise mode in the show, so I'll go to him with a lot of my questions. So, the first question everybody wants to know is, when is this series going to debut? And for that, I'm not quite sure yet, because I want to wait for rosters, and Moonlight Swami recommended that I wait for the Operation Sports rosters that people over there put a lot of time into when they get the minor leagues right and everything is good to go for the start of a new franchise. So I think I should wait for that roster, but I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I could just roll with opening day rosters, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments about that. Here we see an extra base hit with Brian Dozier, and he is one of the star players we have to build around. He's the highest overall player on the team. He's one of our best power bats. We also have some players to build around, like Miguel Sano at third base. At center field, you have Byron Buxton. Then there's Max Kepler, who was a rookie last year. The pitching staff still leaves a lot to be desired, as Phil Hughes and Irvin Santana are the 1 and 2 in this pitching rotation. So it's very evident there's a lot of rebuilding to do, while we have a few players to develop and build around, like Sano here. Lots of home runs, lots of strikeouts from him. I'm used to building football teams, so we'll see how I do when it's time to start constructing a baseball roster. So how is this series going to compare to my franchise and dynasty? Well, the episodes themselves are going to be structured very differently. My football videos are, every game gets its own episode, and it's play-by-play commentary. That's not going to happen here with the Twins franchise, especially because the seasons are so long. I want to tell the story of this team in a very efficient way, and my goal is for every episode to advance the story in some way, whether it's focusing on the team and the direction they're headed, or certain players and their progress, or how the minor leagues are going. I'll be going through a number of games for each episode. I'm not sure how many yet. I mean, I've never made a franchise video, but there was a time a couple years ago in MLB 15 I started playing a franchise kind of on my own, and I was having so much fun with it and had some really great games, and I wish that I had recorded them and done something with them. But it made me know that I wanted to try franchise at some point, and this is the perfect time to finally get going with it. So with these videos, my goal is to have them be around 15 minutes in length. You know I like making longer videos so I get time to tell the story that I need, but I'm not looking for the same length that my football games end up being. We're going to be doing a lot of condensing and recap in this series, so it's not going to be play-by-play commentary. It's going to be more of what you would see, like, you know, when I was growing up watching Baseball Tonight, and they spend, 30 seconds recapping a game. Sometimes a game has more depth to it and they take longer to tell you what happened in that game. So that's kind of more how I envisioned it, being more of a recap-oriented series while we focused on the highlights, but also have a narrative to the season, and then we try to pace it along in a way that makes sense. Like, if we're not a very good team, and say we're having a season similar to what the Twins did last year, I could see a lot of summarizing after the All-Star break, because once you're halfway through, you kind of know who you are. And if you're not in the playoff race, there's not a lot for you to look forward to. So if that ends up being the case, I could see, episodes later in the season taking up a lot of progress. But if we end up being more competitive, that's going to slow the pace a bit, and especially when key series come around or key games that I want to highlight. So what I'll do when I'm going to record these games is I'll play a lot of them on my own, but there are features within franchise mode that make this easier to do. There is a feature in franchise this year that lets you jump into critical situations, whether that mean you are in the 9th inning trailing with men on base and you're trying to make a comeback, or in this situation, Danny Santana was a home run from the cycle. This is a fun way to play moments that really matter, and it can really break up the monotony of a 162 game schedule. So I'll be using this feature quite a bit, which is just when you're simulating. This is something that can pop up and you can jump in when the situation arises. And afterwards here you play as player lock with that player. So sometimes it focuses on one player, it looks like. I'm not sure if that's how it always is, but you can just play player lock if you so choose. Maybe if there's a milestone we're chasing and the season's kind of gone away from us, maybe player lock's a way to go. But there's quick manage like this where you can get through a game very quickly. There's a more detailed managerial mode that I have not tried yet, but I'll definitely check it out. And another thing I want to do is I really do want to spend time with the minor league teams that we have. We have a team at AAA and a team at AA. No, I'm going to spend significantly less time with them, but I do want to follow their seasons as well and the players that are performing well and could potentially be at the big leagues one day. So I want to focus on all 3 levels, at least in some way. I think done right, this can be a really, really cool franchise. Now, the big thing here that allows me to do the franchise the way I want to do it is year-to-year saves, which was introduced a couple of years ago. So, let's say we go throughout this year, play with the Twins franchise, we can pick it up on the next MLB The Show game, and have all our progress and everything, and continue on going. That lets me play at the pace that I need to, and not feel like I have to rush anything. Now, I'm not sure exactly the full process that's going to go into making a franchise video, but I want to do 1 episode a week is my goal to begin, and we'll see if things take longer than I thought they would, or less time than I thought they would. But I want each episode to advance the story in some way. I'll be doing a mixture of simulating, playing games, managing games, and I think I'll be able to find a good balance to manage my time with it well. Like, if I'm playing a game and we're losing 5-0 in the 3rd inning, I might just go into quick manage and go through a few innings and see if anything happens. It's going to be a mixture of all those things, so that's very different. I'm used to playing everything. Like, when I was growing up, I would play franchise on, like, what was I playing back then? I think it was like 2K7 or like, it was a while ago. But I always wanted to play everything, and I never got anything done as a result. So simming is a necessity. But when the time comes to focus on big games, like I think opening day is always going to be a big focus. And it's going to be a major part of the first episode of each season, as long as the game isn't a blowout in the wrong direction. But when there are key series and key games, especially when the team is competitive, that's when you're going to see us maybe sim a little bit less. Once I get into franchise and start messing with these things, I'll see how I can find a good balance for these episodes. I would like it to take around 16 to 20 episodes to finish a season, much like you would see with football. But I guess every season is going to depend on how good the team is and how much there is to say about all the games that are going on. These seasons are very long, and I'll try my best to condense them and keep the story of each episode moving along. I want to see your feedback on this video to know what you want from this franchise series and what your expectations are for the episodes, because this is something that's brand new to me, but I really wanted to get in franchise, and there's no better time than now to finally give it a shot. Now, as you can see, this game did not go well for us. I'm playing on All-Star difficulty, which is where I think my skill level lines up with. I've been playing on that for a couple years. I don't use any plate coverage indicator. I don't do anything special for the hitting besides hitting X or circle or square, whatever the swing button I want to use is. I'm pretty old school with that. I don't like using the pure analog and the left stick to aim. I'm bad at it. I tried for years to get better and it never happened, so I went back to the timing hitting and I have a lot more fun with the game as a result. Before I dive into franchise, I've already played a good bit of Road to the Show and Diamond Dynasty, so I should be used to the show again and hitting while I'm trying to get used to this fisheye camera. It's a really cool camera, I feel. I just wasn't a huge fan of it last year, but I'm working to get used to it now. Some of the breaking pitches and off-speed stuff are a little tough to get used to at the angle. But hey, I got a home run here with Brian Dozier. There were a lot of good timed swings that couldn't do much for me, but I finally lined one up nicely here with Brian Dozier to go yard. Now, if you're looking for any more baseball content from me, over on my second channel, I will be doing Diamond Dynasty. When this video is up, a Diamond Dynasty video should already be up on my second channel. I'll link to that down below in the description. I'll also be trying Road to the Show over on that channel because I want to check out the new story features in there and some of the cool things going on in Road to the Show. So, the franchise is the main thing I want to focus on over here. I do have the Desmond Payne Road to the Show, and I'm still not really sure what I want to do with it. I may make a couple more episodes in the meantime while I wait for rosters for franchise, but once franchise is going, I think that I'll be spending most of my time on the show on that, and then doing some of the smaller series over on my second channel. For those wondering if this could break up the flow of what I have going with Dynasty and franchise, well, I wouldn't be worried about that because I'm still going to be prioritizing football and doing 4 to 5 games a week between my Dynasty and my franchise. I'm going to make sure the football content gets done before I worry about how many Twins episodes I can post. So the goal right now is 1 a week. And this home run, just one of many that we allowed in this game, traveled 519 feet. That is obnoxious. I wanted to go and manage the rest of this game, basically. It's a nice quick way to make some progress, get through a couple innings quickly. I'm sure I'll become very familiar with it, although I did return to action to then go and try hitting again. But we were down 9-1. I had 3 hits going into the 9th. I thought I had some good contact in this game, and of course I'm using a team that doesn't have great contact throughout this lineup. I mean, outside of Brian Dozier, I'm kind of at a disadvantage. Even Joe Mauer is only a 75 overall now. So again, with this Twins franchise, I would expect videos around 15 minutes. I think 10 to 15 is a good sweet spot for this series, so I can still do all the content that I want to do. I have a nice episode structure idea in my head, but I'm not really going to know how everything is going to be until I sit down to finally record. I'm not sure exactly how many games or series can be expected per episode, but I think we'll play at a fairly slow pace as long as there are things to talk about that advance the story and not just stagnate things. I'll be taking in your feedback to help guide the direction of this franchise as I finally embark on a new franchise journey. It's been way too long. I love all the football stuff. That's always going to be my thing, but I've wanted to try this on the show, and it's time. So, still to be determined on the first episode, but I will expect that first episode will be maybe only opening day as I introduce you all to the team and our farm system and go through opening day. But I'm not going to know much more until I actually go and record, so that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you thought down below in the comments section. Let me know if you were excited for the Minnesota Twins franchise to hit my channel, and I will see you all later. Don't forget to check out more MLB The Show content on my second channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.